strengthen and tighten those muscles underneath the neck here. Okay, it almost is hard for me to talk if I'm doing it correctly. And you'll probably feel a stretch in the back of the neck. So Tanya, let me have you demonstrate this. Go ahead and bring your chin forward all the way. Good. And then tuck it back in and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, and then bring it forward and then come back. And you squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you relax. And then you do it again and bring it back and you squeeze. Good. Doing this 7 to 10 times, morning, noon, night. Doesn't have to be an exact number, but somewhere around there will help strengthen those muscles in the neck and help buckle that neck under in conjunction with your adjustments. Okay, the wrong way to do the pigeon chin, and this can be a difficult one, especially if you don't have a lot of range of motion in your neck, so you might take some time to be able to do what Tanya's able to do here, is essentially when you come back, if you bring the chin down like this, or if when you bring your chin back, you're going back like that. We just want a straight translation forward, straight translation back. So an incorrect way, let's have you just bring it back. Bring your head forward first, and then when you come back, you're almost lifting your head. Now she's going down on this, so let's show the wrong one down. So you bring your head back, and she brings her, you see how her head comes into flexion? That's the wrong way to do it. It's not going to get the muscles we want. Now when you bring your chin back, go ahead and bring it up and back. So she'll go ahead and tuck your chin in, and she's coming back with her head up, right? It's not going to do exactly what we want to do. So just straight chin forward, or your chin translates forward this way, and then come straight back, and then squeeze 5 to 7 seconds, or 3 to 5 seconds. And with the pigeon chin exercises, holding it for at least 5 seconds, 3 times a day, doing a couple sets each time is ample. The next stretch I want to show you is called the hamstring stretch. Essentially, when we're sitting all day long, the hamstring gets shortened, and the reason it gets shortened is because the function of the hamstring is it comes from here in the pelvis. There's 2 bones in the pelvis. Let me show you these bones right here. And it starts here, it runs all the way down and attaches to your leg, and it's responsible for pulling your leg up. Now if your leg is bent all day, it's going to be shortened all the time. So what we want to do is stretch that. If you imagine if you do this a long time, if you're sitting a lot, then what it does essentially is this. Imagine me standing and I have short hamstrings. If it's attached to these 2 bones in my pelvis, it's going to now pull the pelvis down. And so as a result of it, we lose our low back curve as a result. So let's combat that. To do that, I'm going to have Tanya show a hamstring stretch here. And what you do, you can do it 2 different ways. Knees bent and knees locked out. I suggest doing both. So let's have her do knees locked out first. And Tanya's very flexible, so you can come and touch the end of her toes. And how long do we want to hold the stretch? Tanya?
30 seconds.
30 seconds, you got it? That's a good way. Now, not everybody can touch your toes, and that's okay. So for those that can't touch your toes, go ahead and just grab the back of your calves or your ankles, yeah. And then you can pull down, right, and hold that for a good 30 seconds, no bouncing. The other way to do it is actually to bend the knee. Go ahead and bend your knee just a little bit. You can do both of them. And lean forward. In fact, when people straighten their leg out, a lot of times they'll feel it on the back of their knee. When they bend the knee, it'll allow them to get another portion of the hamstring, which is the high hamstring, which is up here. Okay. So if you're not able to straighten your legs out, I definitely say bend your knees. It's okay. And in fact, even if you can't touch your toes, I'd do both anyways. That way you get both portions of the muscle equally. Another tip with this stretch is the back. When you're doing the stretch, whether it be knee bent or knee straight, a good thing to keep in mind is to actually keep your back straight. Okay. What this does is it really allows you to concentrate on the hamstring itself. Go ahead and show them the wrong way. Go ahead and bend the back. Right? That's not exactly what we want to promote there. So take the belly or the stomach and push it forward as you're doing the stretch. Remember, it doesn't matter if you can get down to the knee or not. What matters is that you're stretching the hamstring. The next stretch is called the hip flexor stretch. Essentially, as we're sitting, there's a muscle called the psoas muscle, or the hip flexor muscle. And essentially, its responsibility is to pull the leg up. Now, if we're seated all day, you can see what it's going to do is it's always being pulled up anyway. So, it gets shortened. I'd say about 83 to 85% of the people with low back pain have a hip flexor that's tight or abnormal. So stretching this is crucial. So understand the function of this muscle, it will help you when you're stretching it. Essentially, this muscle attaches here in the hip, it runs up through, and it attaches to the lumbar spine, and that's why it's such a big player in low back pain. So to stretch this, we want to take the leg and go the opposite way with it. Tanya, with this, if she wants to stretch her left hip flexor here, what she'll do is with this one, she puts a pad down for her knee here, and essentially what she's going to do is just bring her whole body forward towards her right knee. And you see how she keeps her spine upright? That makes it easier to stretch the hip flexor. Where you want to feel it is on the front side here, not down here in the hip. You want to feel it right there, or in the thigh. You want to feel it right in the hip. So hold this for a good 30 seconds, and then you release. Good. Now I'll show you how you can do it while you're standing at work. Okay, to do the stretch, the hip flexor stretch at work, Tanya's going to show it again. So with this one, what she's going to do is go ahead and step forward. Here, she keeps her feet facing the same way. She puts her hand on the wall just to make sure and hold her balance so she doesn't fall, and puts her hand on the hip, and she can even drive the hip forward to get a good stretch on the front side of the hip here. Remember, don't want to feel it down the thigh, we want to feel it in the hip. If you're having trouble feeling this, you're going, I just can't quite feel that there, then what I suggest is actually stepping forward more, so a more scissored stance, and then bring the spine up, and then you'll get a good feel for it. Okay, the next and probably last crucial point to having good posture and having a very stable back is abdominal work. The myth is that if we just do crunches, our back pain will go away. It's not the case. The muscles on the side, the transverse abdominis and the oblique muscles, are the crucial muscles that we need to exercise here. And because, the reason why we need to do that is because they actually wrap around attached to our lumbar spine. So, to do that, the easiest way to do it, very simple, is called the plank. Okay, so we'll show a couple different variations of doing this. We'll just go into it. So, Tanya, go ahead and, what you're going to do is just reach out. First, I'm going to have you do it on your toes, okay? And what you want to do here is head up, looking straight ahead, putting a good posture. And what she's doing is she's going to hold this, okay? And you want to get to the point where you can hold it for a minute. You may not be able to do that at first. You may only be able to do 20 seconds, 15 seconds, or half an hour. Okay. This here is the easier way to do it. If that's really tough to do, you put your knees down. And the key here is just to keep a very straight back. The wrong way is to have the butt really high, okay? That's not going to get our abdominals the way we want to. And if you come down really low, there we're just stretching the stomach. Right in between a good level plank and working up to a minute. Okay. Once you get good at the plank, then there's a more advanced variation of it. And so let me show you that real quick. Or let me have Tanya show it. So go ahead and come out. What you'll do is you start in the middle, you hold for 5 seconds, then you're going to go ahead and flip to the side. And then right there, bring your hand up here, hold for 5 seconds, then go to the middle, hold for 5 seconds, and then you're going to go to the other side. Very slowly, hold for 5 seconds, and then you're going to come back. You can go and relax. Now, with this, what you want to do repetition-wise is you want to do this a good 10 to 15 times, or work up to 10 to 15 times. And what this does is it takes your spine from just being in one normal position, and now you're transitioning. And those core muscles are learning to engage themselves and hold that position as you're moving around. What I want to show you now is a pre and post x-ray of a patient of mine that went under care that had a lot of neck and upper back pain, and after 3 months we took a shot when she first came in, and we took an x-ray, a spot shot 3 months later, just to see what happened to the curve as a result of her doing care and doing the exercises I just showed you. And this is what we found. This first picture here is an x-ray that we took on her the first day that she walked into the office. As you can see, this is her head here, and this is her cervical spine. This is her jaw, so she's facing this way. Essentially, when I drew a line down from the second bone and up from the seventh and measured how many degrees when those two lines intersect, what that was, it was 15 degrees. No disc degeneration, but what you can see is she has a really straight neck, and it even reverses a bit here at C3, C4. So what I did is applied care to her where it was needed, and then we re-x-rayed her 3 months later, and this is what we found. this is the second follow-up x-ray that I took, and I took a much bigger x-ray so we can get a bigger picture of everything that's going on. And essentially you can see here, she got a great correction to her neck here, and when I measured down from the second bone up from the seventh, it measured out at 32 degrees. Just to give you an idea, normal generally is anywhere between 30 and 40 degrees. So